I'm Raeesah Samsudeen and I am from the 2023 batch of Visual Communication. I first joined AOD to do interior design, but then during my foundation year, I realized visual communication was more broad and I loved the human-centered design part of it. So I decided to do visual communication for my bachelor's. It's been different from what I expected because joining in, I had no idea, nothing about graphic design. But it's been very interesting and I've been able to explore a lot of opportunities in this department. When I started working on my final major project, I looked at art and how art can kind of talk about real life problems. And one problem I looked at was linguistics and how due to the civil war that happened in Sri Lanka, there was this language barrier between Sinhala and Tamil. And then right now we see certain little examples of lack of linguistic inclusivity, where Tamil's been excluded from state signage and some state public services. So when I started looking at that, I realized it was a very heavy political topic, which it didn't make sense for me to tackle it face forward. So I started looking deeper into the problem, why this still existed, even though the war ended in 2009, why we still had a lack of trilingual inclusivity. And then I came to this insight where a language is only as relevant as its usage, and we still don't use Tamil as much because of what happened during the war. And there is also a lack of resource, not just for students, but also teachers, to continue learning Tamil as a secondary language with enthusiasm to make language learning more meaningful. Then I found out about this learning method called content integrated language learning, where you use different subjects to improve your language. And one of the best ways to do that is through museum experiences. And what my solution mainly is an experiential museum where there are certain artworks. There's a relationship between the two languages as well, because Sinhala borrowed 200 words from Tamil when they were first created. So there's that language where there's a similarity where these two languages have shared words. And finally, this idea of how language builds relationship between two people. And my solution was mainly for kids. So I wanted to make this more engaging, more meaningful, where when you're influenced at a young age that you need the language, that when you're out of school, you don't stop learning it. You start using it with people around you. And that was my main solution. Along with that, I also had a publication of art-based language learning activities and a set of postcards, which was linked to a pen file system, where it shows this idea of how global a language can be, because Tamil is not just used in Sri Lanka, but also India, Malaysia, and Singapore. And how language can help you connect not just to locals, but also people around the world. And that was the basis of my solution. For my future aspirations, I'm looking at how I can explore design in a multidisciplinary field, whether it's combining design with science, tech, maths, or even spaces, and going into different design fields. I've worked in museums and exhibitions, and that's kind of made me interested in how graphics can play in a space. I've researched medicine and other subjects which isn't necessarily in the creative industry, which I've found a lot of interest in. So that's something I want to explore, how design can be multidisciplinary.